Hi, I'm Eric Dewey from the Socially Awkward Studios, Science and Beer, and Her Majesty's Secret Podcast, and you're listening to another proud presentation of the Four-Eyed Radio Network. Check out more shows at foureyedradio.com.
Hey listeners, Eric here, also known as Trekkie B47, from the Starfleet Escape Podcast and the Ranger Command Power Hour. The more phenomenal episode you're about to listen to is brought to you by Raven Designs, illustration and design that fit your personality. For samples and inquiries, visit ravencruise.com.
Hey everybody, Comic-Con wrap-up.
Hey, this is Steve, and I'm still tired from the weekend.
Welcome to the 12A Podcast, where you're going to learn about movies, entertainment, and a lot of other cool stuff. And now, here are three people voted most likely to host a freaking awesome podcast. Jeff, Carly, and Steve.
Yeah. We're already winners. We're already winners in our heads.
Yeah. I feel like I won because of the weekend already.
Yes.
That was a winning weekend for us.
I think your dog felt the enthusiasm and came running in here when we got excited.
Like, what are we doing? Celebration!
Where's my treat?
And then he was rejected.
Then he's like,
He's already bored of the podcast.
He left upstairs. I just hear him. He's like, brrr,
Yeah.
away.
Well, he's in for a surprise because the door's closed up there.
So he's being rejected a lot tonight.
He'll be back.
Poor guy.
He'll be back.
Poor guy. Yeah.
All right, we're back. It was a weekend. Carly, you spent Sunday with us, which was an awesome blast.
Yeah.
Indeed.
I'm still somewhat recovering,
Yeah.
and it's just like we spent all day Friday there. Jeff and I were there. We closed it down.
And we
then
closed down.
We closed down the bar at what bar was it we were at?
Hard Rock.
Oh, at the Hard
Hard
Rock.
Rock
Yeah,
Cafe,
closed
yeah.
down that bar. And Saturday and Sunday we were only there for like 4 or 5 hours each day. But I just feel like
It
exhausted.
felt a long time,
Yeah.
even just though I was only there for the 4 hours or 5 hours.
So, can I tell you a quick little thing about Comic-Con? So, I work downtown, literally like a block from where they have this event. And I've been down there for years. And they have a lot of crazy things downtown, right? They have Mardi Gras sometimes,
Sure.
there's Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah.
They have a bunch of Irish bars down there, so sometimes for like St. Patty's Day, they
It's a little crazy.
close off and it gets a little... There is nothing that compares to the craziness of Comic-Con because there are literally thousands and thousands and thousands of people just walking around in these insane outfits like it's the most normal thing that has ever happened.
Yeah.
You go into a bank, you go to Subway, right? You go to CVS pharmacy down. There's people dressed in these crazy outfits.
Like it's
And half the time I don't even know what they are. It's just like someone said, let me just put the most crazy thing on
Yes.
and I'll go outside.
Indeed.
Right.
And they're standing in CVS pharmacy in line like, oh yeah, this is the most normal thing ever. It's awesome. I
That
love
was one of the things that I like. There are so many great, but I only recognize like maybe half the characters. I'm out of it with some of the current stuff, you know. So I don't know who you're dressed as or anything like that. But we went. Jeff and I went Friday evening to the Renaissance Hotel to watch some stand-up comedy they had going on, and that was where the beer was a little bit cheaper too. So we went
A little
there.
bit, yeah.
a little bit, only by $4, but it was still it was cheaper.
Lord.
Yeah. But anyways, I thought, I was like, man, people who book hotels for this weekend, like, oh, honey, let's go have our 30th anniversary, and they end up at that weekend
Suck.
that they,
So suck. If you're
Right.
surrounded by. The hotel's just full of it, and which is awesome, and it's cool because it's like, it is definitely one of the most accepting crowds to ever be
Oh,
in.
totally. Yeah.
And even like we went to the Bruce Campbell panel on Saturday. And that was packed. I couldn't imagine what the Nathan Fillion and the Stan Lee ones were like. But even though it was packed and it just jam-packed, like I didn't see a single like rude person about having to wait in this
That's a
line
good
or
point.
when
Yeah.
we're like going forward through the line. And the
Yeah.
line kind of got effed up a bit when it came to the Bruce Campbell one. People weren't like, hey, that was my spot or anything like that. Everybody was like really cool about it, really accepting.
You know, that's a good point because when a whole bunch of people come together with like a same or a same, whatever, like if you think about a sports event, none of that niceness happens.
Right.
It's rowdy as hell.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a really interesting point to bring up that of all these, of all of us geek nerds, dweebs, and our one place to go where we feel like we are us and accepted.
Yeah, and
we all
especially-
are nice.
Yeah,
another.
especially because it was so crowded, and
Oh,
like
it's
there was an
insane.
evacuation, there was a escalator broke down. I mean, we were all packed in there at sardines.
Yeah, we just kind of accept it and
and
go
it's so
with it.
funny to run into like Darth Vader and have him be really nice to
Yeah,
you,
I know.
or Chucky, or
He's like,
whatever.
excuse me.
Yeah.
You're like,
Excuse
oh.
me, pardon me. Yeah,
Well,
Sam, we rode down the escalator and Sam bumped into a Freddy Krueger, you know?
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
one day, yeah.
And everyone is so cool. I mean, I'm sure it's part of the reason they dress up, but everyone's so cool about, hey, can I get a photograph of you?
I
Whatever.
know.
Like,
Isn't
everyone is,
that
like,
awesome?
super awesome
It is
about
awesome.
it. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the one I took a photograph with had never gotten a photograph taken
I
with him before.
think-
He
I
looked
think you're right.
completely, utterly shocked.
This Steve Zissou.
Team
yeah,
Zissou
Team
from
Zissou.
Life Aquatic, Bill
Yeah.
Murray.
Yeah.
You know, it's amazing too because it's like 110 degrees in Phoenix now, and people are out there in like these cloaks and
Oh, my
like Darth
goodness.
Vader. So that's even more amazing that people aren't just pissed off.
I
Because
know,
it-
right? They
because
should be
it's hot,
upset.
and they're really hot, and they're in these
Cranky.
crank, but
Yeah.
they're like, hey, whatever, you know.
No, it
So-
was really awesome. And speaking of, I just posted it, and it's been shared on Facebook and Twitter and everything too.
Mm-hmm.
But I finished up our photo gallery on our website.
Oh, right.
There's
Oh,
about
cool.
100 pictures on it because we had the Team Zissou, and then there's this
wow.
one kid that you have to look at and see the Sammy. Like he was pretty much dressed like a little Chucky or something, but his mom would stand off to the side, and he was posing with these other people. His mom said, "Put on your scary face," and his scary face was
my
so
God.
good. He's a redhead kid too.
Oh, he's a
He's a
ginger.
little ginger,
Nice.
and just his scary face with this little fake knife
How
he points
freaky.
at
I
you.
love that
Oh,
she's
man.
supporting
So
it.
yeah, it was totally cool. Yeah, totally
That is
supportive.
awesome.
So,
That is
but,
awesome.
Yeah, there's some.
See,
some
we're
great
a
photos.
good community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen closely, everyone.
Yeah.
We are
Yeah.
good
Phoenix
people.
is not as scary as everybody makes it out to be.
Yeah. Ignore the political bull.
Yeah, I never saw a real gun while I was there.
No.
That wasn't from security.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's true. Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
that's true.
that
Yeah,
was
good
from
point.
security. So, yeah, so it was an awesome weekend, and I think I've been able to theme most of my podcast notes around Comic-Con.
Yeah,
because
now
of that,
I
so-
don't want to ruin anything in case
Mm-hmm.
you bring this up later, but obviously, Carly, we know what your favorite costume was. Steve, did you have a favorite?
You know, it actually. I'm gonna bring it up later, but my favorite was there was a Chun Li costume
I
cosplay from
never
Street
saw-
Fighter 2.
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah. It was really, really cool, and I can't remember if it was Jeff and I or Sam and I because it was on Friday when we were out front, and everybody was wanting to pose with her, and she had this great. She had been practicing, you could tell, like she was holding her
That's
high kick with
awesome.
one leg and stuff
Nice.
like that. But it was really cool. I wish I would have gotten afterwards. I was like, man, I should have gotten a picture posing where it looked like
yeah.
she kicked me type
Yeah.
of thing or something.
You were just in
know?
awe. You were
I was
in
just,
awe.
It was a really cool costume. Well done, the hair and everything else.
Yeah,
So, but
you were
that
probably
was-
just transfixed by the legs, and you couldn't
and
think
that
about it.
did-
Yep.
That probably didn't help.
Too
the
many,
matter, yes.
too many legs to look at. You're like, oh my god.
Yeah.
This
So
is
that
awesome.
that was the first one that came to mind. Was probably a favorite cosplay that I saw. Yeah.
So, I'll get. Do you want my top three, or is this something that we're going to talk about later?
No,
give
go.
me your top
Okay.
three.
Do it.
If you had a top
So,
three. What's the first one that
number
came to my
three,
mind?
Steve and I were going down an escalator, and I saw somebody, and I was like, "Hey, Steve, there's our first Slave Leia for
Oh, yeah.
the weekend,
Slave
right?"
Leia.
You know,
Cool.
there's going to be
Did see a few of those.
So number three was 60-year-old Slave Leia.
Yep.
Whoa. Hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, good for her.
Oh,
good
good
for
for
her.
I agree.
yeah.
There we
That
go.
was
Good
great.
for you.
Number two was the TV VHS combo.
What?
Yeah, Steve and I saw this.
Did you take a picture?
No, we were
Dang
just like
it.
I think it was a Bruce Campbell line. Like we were
It
just
was just
walking
a-
by,
Oh, real
walking
quick.
by,
and it was
Yeah.
just this massive line. We were being like
Yeah,
ushered
you
like
can't
cattle
do
through
it.
the thing, right? And so there's
That
this
is
guy,
awesome.
and he just had just a regular outfit on, but on his head he had one of those. One of those TV VHS combos that half of us had in college or whatever.
Nice.
And the great thing was
Nice.
is that when he went to eat, he didn't take it off.
Oh my
Because
goodness.
he used the VHS to be able
put
to
the food
access
in.
his money. Yeah. So
So it's practical too. That's awesome.
yeah, so that was brilliant.
Yeah.
And then my last one, my number one, and this is just sort of my excitement about Community, is there was like three people who all dressed up as like 80s cartoon G.I. Joe guys.
Oh, okay.
There was Gung Ho. There was one guy who was in camo. I forget which character he was, and then the Cobra Chick lady. So the three of them got together. So number one, I liked it because it wasn't like the hot in thing.
Yeah, that's
Right
yeah.
now, it's not the Doctor Who or whatever, and it's not the classic Star
funny that you
Wars.
say
It's
that's
overdone.
in, 'cause it's like
So it's sort of
I know what you're
this unique angle. Number one, and then number 2, it was like a group of people that said, hey, we're all going
gonna
as a
do all the
snitch. We're on the same
characters.
page
Yeah,
about this.
I like that.
This was more of an in one, but one that I did see, and we do have a picture up on it, is Elsa and Anna from the Frozen, and they look like sisters, but they were totally dressed the parts and everything.
Well, I saw a pair of them on Sunday. I don't know if it's the same.
Yeah, it was the same ones,
Yeah.
I think, on Sunday and stuff. So that was more of an in one. But yeah, it's always cool when you see a group crowd of, dressing alike or
Yeah, that's why if
so.
we dress up at some time, I'd love for us at some point to be like, all
We
right,
need
this
to.
is our theme.
We need to coordinate.
This is what we're
Whoever I end up speed rounding, that's one of my questions.
Okay,
in speed
great.
round.
All right.
Well, I have to make a quick comment though about what you had said earlier about how or I don't know if Steve said it or Jeff, but about not recognizing a lot of them. If it wasn't for my kids, I wouldn't have recognized a ton. But I noticed a lot of characters from a lot of the newer cartoons that are coming out, not like on Disney or Nickelodeon, on like the Cartoon Network, and they're kind of funky and weird, like the regular show. Exactly, you know what I mean? For example, but I did recognize some, and I was kind of proud of myself. Like, oh, Leland would love this, Ronan would love this, because I knew who they were, and they would have loved it. So, I guess that makes me feel like I'm younger now.
I know, and we can talk about it later, but, the awards ceremony was kind of a bummer on Sunday.
Yeah.
We went to the awards ceremony, Sammy, and like 80% of the people that won awards didn't even show up. If you put a
you
movie
serious?
into a film challenge, show up to the awards ceremony.
Yeah, totally.
Total bummer. But when we walked by, there was another panel going on. There was this whole lineup of like 20 kids dressed up in costumes, and it was a kids like walk-off awards thing where they show off, and it's like you vote for best. I would have loved to sit in on that. Those kids had some awesome costumes going on. There's a bunch of 4, 5, 6, 7-year-olds, know.
cool.
So yeah, that's a really cool thing too. They had a lot of neat family type
kids,
stuff. There's a make your own wand from Harry Potter and stuff like that.
So awesome.
Panels. Yeah. So.
Very kid.
It'll be Carly and a bunch of 10-year-olds in that one.
It totally, they're like, who is that creep girl that looks like Hermione and she's just old and wrinkly? I think I saw Varicose Vein. It would be very disturbing.
Yeah, I'm
for
sure
them.
a kid's going to say that.
Yeah.
Okay,
Varicose
true. Good
vein.
point. Good point. Well, smart one.
Pretty
then.
smart kid.
Yeah.
Well, I'm expecting the sign up for your kids in the fashion show, and Carly showing up with me and Steve, and her being like, "Okay, here's my kids.
Here's my
I'm gonna-
kids. I
Hey,
dressed
that's a
them up
great
like Star
idea.
Trek. Yeah.
I like this.
These belong to me."
That's hilarious.
Nice.
I like that.
Yeah, there we go.
Those are good ideas
see?
for later.
All right, so are we going to move on to what we're streaming, or do we need to talk about?
I didn't stream anything.
Okay.
I did.
I didn't,
Okay.
unfortunately.
I have
I mean,
something that I streamed that is also relevant to Comic-Con.
okay, because nothing new. I mean, it is relevant to Comic-Con because they had a lot of panels about the show, but it's the same Supernatural. I'm still going through that. I'm up to season 4 now. So
Right.
yeah.
Although you went home and streamed something after Comic-Con
Oh,
because you
I
were so
did.
inspired.
Yes, I was so inspired. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Bruce Campbell, I watched the original Evil Dead,
Right.
1979, and I started on Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead is on Hulu. Evil Dead 2 is on Netflix streaming right now. So
Whoa, I thought Hulu was a no-no. Oh, is that Redbox at your house?
Redbox.
Redbox, okay.
I don't want to put a DVD in the DVD player. Speaking of which,
I
I
know.
saved a text message that Jeff and I had going back and forth Sunday. I totally have to post it. I'm posting it for everybody.
Okay.
It's awesome. Yeah,
I can't wait.
It's a lot of BS.
It's about what
It's
we were
about what we
texting
just
that night.
yeah.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
Steve, that's how it was. Steve and
setup.
I go to Comic-Con and spend 20 hours together, and then the next day we spend another 10 hours, and then we go home and text each other.
As long as you're not sexting, then we're good.
No, there was no.
there was some sexting.
I mean, there's no pictures.
No.
Okay.
Do pictures have to be involved in sexting?
Yeah,
I don't know the
kinda.
exact. Okay.
He might. I think we were texting about the tree rape scene. I don't know. in Evil Dead. I
Yes,
don't
we
know
did
if that-
talk about the tree rape scene
So
in
this
Evil
is
Dead 1.
scandalous. I can't wait to read
Yeah.
it.
So,
No, this is more scandalous than that. It's about DVDs.
insertion. If you
Insertions.
will.
Yeah.
There you go.
I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm turned on.
Got to keep Carly
Literally,
satisfied.
I'm powered on.
So now that you're turned
Powered
on,
on
what
in a
were you
search-
streaming?
What did you stream?
I turned on, and I'm continuing Fargo. I just have to keep telling you that. It's a
Which
reminder.
we talked about on the way back from Comic-Con.
Yeah, it's so good. And Martin, gosh, I lost his last name right now. In The Hobbit and Sherlock, Martin.
Yeah, I know.
I always want to say Martin
Blonde guy.
Sheen or Martin Short, but it's not. I don't know who it is. It's Martin Freeman. Martin Freeman. Anyway, he's amazing. He's a very, very good actor. British actor, never breaks his. He sounds like he's straight from old big fella, Fargo, South Dakota. Like, it's totally believable. But anyway, I'm continuing my streaming with that. Show is great. at any point I've never been disappointed. And then I was telling Jeff earlier that I actually watched, and I'd seen it before, but not for a long time. I was, do you ever have that moment where you're flipping through the channels? Well, you don't, poor Steve. Where you're flipping through the channels and you're like, oh, hey, a movie just started. Oh, I want to watch it. You didn't plan it, and it was just like, so I watched Casino Royale. I'm
like that whenever if I'm flipping through and I see like the intro credits for a movie, I have to like stop and wait and see if I can guess what it is.
Hey, that's a good idea.
And if I can't guess what it is, I have to at least see what it is before I can move.
I like that. I like
OCD,
that. Yeah. No, that's actually a creative challenge. Yeah. You could actually do that. Like you could do that at a party.
Yeah. Well, I bet actually Sammy's dad would do that to me when I'd be over playing games.
Oh, he's testing you.
Yeah. Sometimes his dad would call me over and he'd be like, "Hey, Jeff, what's this?" I'd be like, crap.
He would freeze it on one frame or whatever.
That's a great idea, but can you imagine doing that, like 10 of them, and then having people vote? Wow. Yeah, it's a good idea.
This is my great story. I've told this a lot actually. When I was in Oregon, I had a second family, the Robinsons, and I would go and stay with them like when my parents took my brother to college, and so they would be gone for a while. So they would just drop me off at my second family's home, and then disappear for
that's awesome
whatever amount of time.
I think we've all had that.
So the dad Larry was a big James Bond fan.
Okay.
Right. And so he was like big James Bond fan. So I came down stairs one day, and it was on a Sunday, and he had a James Bond movie on, and he says, "All right, son, this is it." He said, "If you're going to be a part of this family, name this movie. If you can name this movie, you're officially a part of the family."
Oh no!
And so I'm like, "Oh crap!" And I had no idea what movie it was.
Of course.
But what I did know is I remembered last night, it was back when TBS would like have their James Bond weekend.
Yes,
whatever,
I remember that.
Right? So I remember the night before I saw a trailer for the 2 James Bond movies they were playing the next day.
So you remember.
So I'm looking at this, I'm like, all right, I got a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, just
So
guess.
I was like, whatever it is, I just got to be confident and sell it like I know it, and
Good
hopefully I get the right one, right? So hopefully I don't think he listens to this podcast. I think I'm still safe. So I was like, Dad, called him Dad. I don't know if I did or not, but let's just say I did.
Okay. It's more interesting.
Sell it, confident.
Yeah. Dad.
Called him Dad.
Yeah, called him Dad. Said, Dad, it's the man with the golden gun. And there was a moment, a silence. Yeah, the dramatic, and he goes,
"Oh no.
Great job, son. Welcome to the family."
You got so lucky.
Wow.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah, I sold it better than I sold this. And,
True, indeed. But this was a spur of the moment story, so right. I like that. That's awesome.
So,
and indeed it was that. Did you watch it, or was it at the end?
It was, but I have no idea. I'm sure I watched it at some point.
Yeah, okay. Well, I watched Casino Royale again.
Yes.
I hadn't watched it in years, but so it was kind of nice to just randomly revisit it. And they tried to film it, I'm sorry, I watched the newer one. I have to clarify. I apologize.
Right, not the parody one that came
exactly
out with the Pink Panther guy who did the.
I know, I don't know the name.
I have that one.
But exactly, I watched the more recent one.
Peter Sellers, yes.
And it was neat how they tried the color and the way of the film. They tried to make it like the older one, so that was really unique.
Actually, the Peter Sellers one is pretty good.
Is it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Have you guys not seen it?
I don't know if I have.
Oh, yeah. It's
My dad
awesome.
has them all.
It's totally the 70s, like late 60s, early 70s sort of love, peace.
Yeah.
I love
weirdness.
that.
Like
but it was the only one that was like a parody.
Yeah.
Like somehow they got the rights to it.
It was weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's all I streamed, just to note that. But whenever you guys are ready, since we're in theme of, Comic-Con, I do have Star Trek names for all of us.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, my goodness.
What'd you stream, Jeff?
Okay, so just to preface this, because there should be a dramatic build to what I streamed, right? So there's some shows that I just try to avoid talking about. Sherlock's obviously one of them, because every time it comes up, I want to watch it less. So
Son of a bitch.
I know, right?
Sorry, continue on.
So there's one show, and Steve, you can probably guess. There's one show that I've been avoiding talking about because.
Are you embarrassed?
No, I hadn't watched it.
Oh, and he's bugging you.
Steve loves this.
Is this
show.
a Netflix streaming show?
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh.
So if you want to take a guess, chime in at.
I'm totally blank on the. Everybody hates it though.
It's a sci-fi show. No, it's a sci-fi show that everybody loves.
Oh, Doctor Who.
No.
Did you finally?
No, not Doctor Who.
Oh,
Firefly?
It's a sci-fi show.
Yes.
Yeah, Firefly.
What?
Firefly.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you watched it?
So here's my history with it. Like I avoided. It's one of those shows that I just kind of avoided because it got to that epic point. Yeah, where you know the
makes
show's
sense.
not going to live up to it. But one day I was sick, laying on my couch. This was like 2 years ago. And so finally I was like, I'm just going to watch it. Let's see. And so I spent like half the episode in the bathroom. I was like, oh, whatever.
That's interesting.
And so I remember I didn't care for it.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. I was like,
You tried it.
I tried it. I
Right.
just couldn't get into it. I was like, I really don't understand why everyone. So I'm like, I'm going to give it a second shot and just see.
That's good.
So here's my thing on Firefly.
All right.
I enjoy the show now, but I completely understand why it was canceled. So that's my question to
Cool.
Steve, who you love the show, right? You're a big
Sure, yeah.
Firefly fan. Do you get why it was canceled, or is it just like
It's really
Arrested Development is like, well, what was wrong with them? It's a stupid network.
No. I get why it was canceled, just like I get why Arrested Development was canceled. I mean, it was a very specific fan base type of thing, and
niche,
one of the
yeah.
problems too with Firefly was it's just so out of order. Like if you can't like binge watch it, it's not you're not going to watch
It's
it week
hard
to week.
to
You
commit
aren't.
to.
No, it is hard to commit.
That's
to.
like Hemlock
They-
for me.
Yeah, Hemlock Grove, the
Yeah.
same way. Yeah, you never could.
Jeez.
But that's why I think that it's so successful afterwards, and it has such a huge following afterwards because people. I mean, I bought the DVDs for it. Is how I
Right.
watched all that. So. I think that was kind of the problem. It was out of order and it made it confusing. But I love the characters in it, So
Well, I agree about the characters, but I think I can completely understand why it was canceled, because for me it was really, really, really hard to get into. So like right now I'm about halfway through the series and I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time with it. And I don't like the editing. I think the pacing is not good
Is it
because they
just
try
slow?
to cram too much into one episode. I think
yeah, it's not
sometimes
slow.
where sometimes, typically
That's
they'll
because they knew it was going to get canceled, so they tried to.
They're like, hurry up.
well, it's just the pacing's not there, and like they ramp up the action, and then they cut right away to a week later, and they're doing they're wrapping something else up, and it's like, oh wait, you didn't take time to slow it down, and in Star Trek they would stop, they would show a picture of the planet, and then they'd go on the planet.
Yeah,
There's none
good
of that.
transitions.
Yeah,
good,
there's
good
no
time to
transition.
think about things.
You're from the ship right onto the planet and stuff.
Yeah, and some of the action just isn't, they could have made it more exciting. Anyways, the biggest problem I had with it is in the beginning, the very first episode, like sci-fi, as you know, is really important to establish like what's the world we're in, what's the history, and
Sort of the rules.
yeah,
that
what are
we're
the
gonna-
rules?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's a big thing with horror or with sci-fi. It's big with horror too, but
Right.
establish a rule, and they didn't do any of that. Like they start off with a big fight, which was cool, but then they go. Like for me, like they left him on the planet, right? Remember, they leave him on the planet, and the rebellion had. I have to think about it in terms of rebellion in the Empire. But the
hilarious.
rebellion,
That's why-
the brown
That's great.
coats.
yeah, the
Yeah, I
brown
was
coats.
gonna
Yeah,
say.
they abandon him on the planet, and it's just him and that other chick, and it's the impending doom of the bad guys. The big empire coming down on him, and then they like cut away. And then they cut to him in space with a completely different crew. And for me, I was like, wait a second. Did they
What
not kill
happened?
him?
We're
Did he go to
just-
jail?
oh, right.
How did he escape? Is this like the next day? Is this like 10 years
So
later?
that to me sounds like a style. So is that? I mean,
And
it
that's-
could be bad. What you're saying, bad editing, bad whatever. But it also could just be a style.
Well, and they didn't explain the world, because there's this whole, the whole premise of it is they're like on the outskirts of this universe. So Earth died, right? And they colonize like a new solar system, and so they kind of stay on the perimeter of the solar system where it's kind of like the Old West because it's a little bit away from the Imperial control.
Yeah, they're away from the Imperial control and the
Right.
man with the blue hands.
So it's a
and, yes.
really, really terrific idea. So it's like a Western in space,
Yeah.
right?
It's a Western
cool.
space, and all the cursing in it is in Chinese because the Chinese took over, and that's actually
that makes
those
sense.
are the two languages you have to know to
That's
get by. And the problem is because they explain all that, but this is why I say you've got to binge watch it because they don't explain it in the same episode.
Yeah.
And so that's the problem.
That's
and
like
they do
Hemlock.
jump
Damn it.
back and forth. And so yeah, that's why it would be a great Netflix streaming show. If that was how it was, and it would have been picked up for more seasons. But yeah, watching it from week to week, it is a confusing show to watch just one episode.
Yeah, and if you
of.
think about the general American public, or maybe not just American, that's a little hard to people. They're like, I
swallow.
want something
Yeah.
easy.
Oh, I totally
gosh
get that.
darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
they try to do like a big explanation in the beginning, but it was never.
Interesting.
It was kind of.
Yeah.
So you streamed that.
So, anyways, I'm halfway through that, so I'm enjoying it now, and I'm gonna finish it up. So.
All right. Well, you keep trying.
You keep on trucking.
Yeah, but it's fun. Like I love the characters, like you said, are just terrific. They're amazing.
I love the crew.
I love, when I really got into Burn Notice, one of the things I really liked was how they had a self-contained episode, but then they had this storyline that was going like from episode to episode, and that was really the first time I remember seeing something like that. But obviously they were doing that in Firefly, which is really cool. And part of the reason I went back to Firefly is I have the DVD for Serenity, which is on Netflix. So
Serenity now.
Yeah, so I want to watch
Seinfeld.
Serenity,
Okay.
and so I was like, well, if I'm going to watch Serenity, I got to finish Firefly. So.
Am I really the only one who got that?
Yeah, you're really it.
Yeah.
You don't remember George Serenity now?
No.
I don't remember that part.
Never watched much.
Wow.
So.
The only.
Anyways, that's all you've been streaming then?
No, but that's the only thing I was going to bring up because I've been talking for a while.
Season 3 of Sherlock's now on Netflix, but just saying.
Just gonna. You know what I think I should do? I should contact Shireen and be like, I need Jeff for 2 hours. I'm coming over. Don't tell him, but just make sure he's there.
You might want to explain yourself.
Why you need him for 2 hours?
You have to leave.
Shireen, I need your husband for 2 hours.
Oh my gosh, no. I meant leave so we can. I'll tell her why.
Okay, yeah, that might work.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Give me some Star Trek names. I'm curious on this Star
Are
Trek
you
names
ready
thing.
for this, you
I'm
guys?
ready for this.
Okay.
Comic-Con me up.
I've been waiting for this.
Who wants to know their name first?
Well, are you going to give me whether I'm a Klingon or a
yes, absolutely. with your name.
Kardashian?
You're a Kardashian.
I
Your
know.
name's Kim.
You do have the brown mic, so I think you're a Klingon.
All right.
Oh.
Give it to me. What do I got?
Well, I want to
but
know
yeah.
how the criteria, how this.
Yeah.
There's an actual official website where you can go plug in your name.
Okay.
You have to say if you're a male or a female. That does change things,
Okay.
obviously. And they tell
That's
you
so
that
sexist.
who you are. Are you a Romulan? Are you whatever?
It's just your name.
And your name and your Star Trek name. Yes, it's just your name.
Okay.
Like if you put in Jeff Brewer, I tested it versus Jeff Smith. It's quite different.
Oh, okay. All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Who's first though? Who wants to know?
Start with Steve and work your way around.
Steve is the funniest, so that's why I like that Steve.
Okay.
But I'm jealous because he is. Do you want to know who you
I
are
wanna know
first?
who I am first.
You're a
what
Vulcan.
race? Vulcan.
All
Okay,
right.
and your name is Chulak.
Chulak. Yeah.
Do you like
I like it. I totally love it.
That is good.
We are going to need 12A Production Star Trek name shirts.
We should Chulak.
Totally. Chulak.
Chulak, and it's CHU and then the apostrophe or the
L-A-K.
yeah.
It sounds like a battle cry.
It does.
It totally does. That's weird.
But it's Vulcan.
You're the only
awesome.
Vulcan
Vulcan.
in this.
Am I?
You are.
Oh, I'm so awesome.
It is-
Yeah. Vulcan.
You kind of have the coolest, in that way.
No, you got yours, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna do Jeff next because
Okay.
you want to know who you are first or your name.
What am I first?
You're a Klingon,
Okay.
and you're the only one.
Okay.
We are all different, except Sam and I come from the same.
Okay.
Your name is Nagra.
I can't even pronounce that.
Noggra.
Nagra.
Nagra.
Is Klingon, you
He's
said?
a Klingon.
Yeah, so you're a
Naga.
warrior, man. You got to say it like Naga.
Nagra.
That's why I said it that way. All right, so Sam and I are Romulans.
Okay.
right.
Sam's name is Navek.
Navek.
N-V-E-K. Navek.
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 And I am.
Did you put in I was a female?
Mine
sure?
definitely sounds female though. So mine's Talora. So T-A-L apostrophe A-U-R-A. Talora.
Talora. I like
That's
that.
actually kinda
Talora.
cool,
Yeah,
though.
I
It
like
is
that. Sounds
Talora.
good.
Navek is cool too.
Yeah. Well, they're all cool names. I like
So
them.
Sam and I are from the same.
Well, not only
Family, planet.
all three of you are related because the Vulcans and the
That's true.
Romulans are tied in.
That's true.
So really, if you think about it,
Jeff's the odd
Jeff's
man
the
out.
you're the odd man.
the
out.
guy who's rated lowest in popularity is the only guy who's an unrelated species.
Jeff.
So
But
I'm
you are a
starting-
warrior though.
yeah, I'm
You are a
starting to
warrior.
see a
No,
theme
Nagra.
here. Yeah.
Nagra.
All right, so what are the names again?
Jeff is Nagra. N-O-G-G-R-A. Steve is Chulak.
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 That sounds like a dog toy or something.
Thanks.
Chulak.
Okay. It's a
Oh
cool
yeah, like
vocal
you
name.
chew it
Thanks.
and it locks.
Yeah, like I'm
All right, whatever. What's Sammy's?
Sam is Navek. N-V-E-K.
Are you
N
posting this,
apostrophe
Steve?
No, I'm just writing them down so I can
So he
remember
has him.
these.
Okay.
He's and then I'm Talora, or I don't know if it's Talora or Talora. It's T-A-L-A-U-R-A. Talora.
And mine,
Talora.
Chulak, is C-H-U apostrophe L-A-K?
Yeah.
Chulak. Nagra. N-O-G-G-R-A.
Talara.
Navek. N-V-E-K. Navek.
So yeah, these are our Star Trek names, guys.
So
we're official.
This is
cool.
This is going to be on a shirt. So
Yeah.
this has got to happen.
I wonder if like Sam and I are like brother and sister, or if we're just neighbors.
We
Like,
need
you
a
never
family
know.
history now. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need a
Is
history.
there a Star Trek family history site you can go to?
I'm gonna check that out.
We need to
Let me
maybe
write
we
that
need
down.
to write our own
We do need to
fan
write our own,
stories,
yes.
you know,
Right.
Yeah.
fan fiction. We'll write our own fan
Ooh,
fiction.
I like that.
We write our own
challenge.
biographies.
Yeah, if there's anybody out there who writes fan fiction for Star Trek stuff, I want you to write us a fan fiction.
We need to know our story.
And we now know a couple of different artists from the Artist Alley, so I bet you we
That
can
would be
make a
kinda
little. That'd be
cool.
cool.
A
We're gonna make a
project.
freaking comic book of ourselves.
I like that.
With Star Trek
Ooh, I
names.
like that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so in. All right.
I like it because my Star Trek name is only one letter more than my real name.
That's so
Much
true.
easier
It's
to remember.
easy, yeah. So yeah, just so you guys know, I don't have a speed round today, but I do have my, of course, obsessions.
Steve, do you have an obsession?
I do have a top 10 love movies.
Okay. I've got an obsession. Her name is Jennifer Lawrence. What are you asking me? I'm confused.
do you have an obsession round for us?
It would be real if she's got some. I'll pull some up, and I'll still kick her ass.
All right. Well, here we
Oh,
go.
excuse me,
Whoa.
challenge accepted.
Obsession. We still totally need to like improve that with like I want like me and Jennifer having a conversation with
I
each
want
other.
me and Sherlock having a
yeah,
conversation.
we need to find some good like sound bites so
Where
like
he's-
it can be
yeah.
like
No,
me
but
and
that-
Jennifer talking over.
That would be
talking.
like a 30-second intro.
And I'm okay with that. I would listen to it all the
Actually,
time.
I have to say it could be really short because all Jennifer has to say is like, "Are you ready?" And Steve's like, "Oh yes." Ready. You know, and Sherlock has to just say something witty, and I'll just giggle.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
There you go.
super
So,
easy.
all right, so we gotta start looking for those sound
Yeah,
bites.
okay, send them to me.
Okay, done.
That's Steve's job.
Jeff
not mine.
already thought we had this was long to begin with, so
What?
Oh, don't
Well, you know
listen
what?
to Jeff. He's
Jeff
in the
can
bathroom
suck it.
anyway.
He's in the bathroom right now.
So we
Nagra
had this- we
or
didn't
whatever
have
your
this
name is.
conversation.
Nagra.
Come on, Nagra.
All right. All right. Hit me up. What are your
Okay, so I don't know if
factoids?
you guys knew, but Benedict actually read the D-Day news. Did you guys hear about this? Because D-Day was, just recently on Radio
Friday.
4, which is indeed on Friday, which is the original which is the British. Anyway, he read the original 1944 news reports, and this was the first news long-awaited. When the Nazi-occupied mainland, Europe had begun. Anyway, the same time of day, original transmission 70 years ago, he same exact everything. So I got to listen to a little bit of it, not live, obviously, different time zone, but I did get to listen to some of it, and it was actually, I was excited to listen to it, and when I did listen to some of it, I was more emotional, so I chose to stop, because it was, this is a really horrible event.
Right. Yeah.
So, so there's that fact. So I thought that was really interesting and really cool of him to do. He was asked to do it because he has such a great baritone voice. My second Cumber fact is he actually almost ditched his name because his dad's last name's Carlton. So, yeah, his birth name is Benedict Carlton Cumberbatch. It's actually Benedict Harold whatever. But he chose to stick with Cumberbatch. But someone had suggested that you can just say Ben Carlton. But then that would be weird because that would be weird to say I'm a Carlton bitch. I like Cumberbatch better. It just somehow just doesn't have the same ring to it. Third fact: he has a really weird lip scar, and you can actually only find it if you look at really good unpixelated pictures of him. He actually got his lip stuck on his braces when he was younger.
So cute.
But it's so cute. I'll lick it. It's okay.
I'll lick it and make it better.
That's not make anything better, but that's hilarious. Or maybe it would. Okay, fourth and last thing. I still want to see this, and my goal is for next podcast is to stream this movie, The Fifth Estate. It's with him in it. He plays that man, Julia Stanch. He actually emailed this guy. He's the revolutionary, journalist guy with the whole rule of law, corrupt or needed to be a democracy. I don't know if you know anything about this story, but he actually emailed the guy, and the guy encouraged him not to do the movie about him, but he did anyway.
Right, yeah, I remember you mentioning that.
Yeah. Another thing Benedict said that I thought was really interesting and very factual is that is when talking about impersonations, like impersonating people, that he actually said acting is a state of empathy, if you really think about it. And I had to really think about it. And he's right. He's right.
Empathy from the audience's point of view to empathize with the character.
Yeah, to empathize with what you're acting, what you're doing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I mean, it's really, like I said, it's like actual factual and simple, but you really have to think about it, and then you're like, yes, indeed, it is. Those are my 4 amazing facts about Benedict. I love you.
Jennifer is so amazing that while she was blurting out her 4, I already found my 4. It was so fast.
Oh, good Lord.
These facts are all over the place. Number 1 fact, she tried out to star in Twilight, but was turned down in favor of Kristen Stewart. She did try out.
Oh, that's a point against.
Reject.
Yeah.
But fact number 2,
Okay.
The Hunger Games then grossed $408 million, which is $100 million more than any of the Twilight movies did.
Oh,
Suck it. When she was on the set of the Hunger Games, and some of you have probably seen this floating around, but Woody Harrelson was in it, and she went into his trailer and introduced herself, and then saw something and said, "Hey, Woody, is that a sex swing?" And it was a yoga swing, but she immediately thought it was a sex swing,
course
which
she
is
did.
great. And the interesting fact that I just found out, and I totally had forgotten about this movie because this was right around when Mel Gibson had his huge breakdown. Do you remember the movie The Beaver?
Oh,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, I never saw it or anything like that, and I had no clue. But Jennifer Lawrence was in it. She starred in that movie, and nobody knows about it or anything like that because the movie did horrible because it's right around when he did his breakdown. It was him and Jodie Foster and Jennifer Lawrence. So
Yeah, that movie looked like it could have been really good, but it wanted to be a drama, and it looked like a comedy.
because
so it
he's
was
got
really,
a beaver
yeah,
hand
he's
puppet.
yeah,
with him
how
all
is
the
that not a
time, and
comedy?
so
right?
I don't know. Now I'm totally curious. I'm going to have to watch it though because she was in it. So that was the 4
Those
facts
are good
I
4
pulled
facts.
out of
And
my
before you
ass.
judge Sam and Jeff, I don't know if you guys know this about me. I auditioned for Twilight New Moon.
You did?
I did.
What did you audition for?
The Native American part, and I dressed up and I had it recorded and I sent it in. I spent $4.32.
Wow. I think she's trying to swing it in her. That might have
Listen,
just-
let's just ignore the
that
last
might have
little
just-
attempts to get a point from her.
No!
Well, that's a cool factoid.
You guys don't
it's
know
not
that
a
about me.
Cumberbatch fact.
That's true.
This isn't Carly and Steve facts, which I think Jeff's going to do that someday.
Yeah, he will.
And then
I
we'll
can't
see
wait.
which one it is. It's going to be fun.
That'll be fun. Okay,
So anyways,
who won?
choose it up.
I'm going to choose Carly because
What,
because
D-Day?
of the D-Day thing.
I know. See, I'm
Oh,
I mean-
sympathy bullshit.
Yeah,
or history.
Yeah.
History.
I think Steve had 4 solid facts
He
on
did.
J.
He did.
J-Lo, but
Is there a UFO outside our window?
no.
There's like a bright red light that's moving around. Do you see it right there?
It's Arizona.
Don't
maybe.
change the
I don't know.
subject.
Well, yes,
It's
Don't
moving
change the
around.
subject.
Hey, all right,
We have a
I think you
UFO
got-
outside our window.
I think you got the point, Carly. So what?
That
is
I
it?
won. Yes.
Yes,
Is it
Carly got the
4
point.
to 2 now?
Oh yeah.
You know,
what-
it might
no.
be the bacon reeler because he stopped by and
Yeah,
dropped something
he
off
wins.
mysteriously.
That is true.
Hashtag
We-
bacon
We
realtor.
accept that. Steve and I accept that he would win this round.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
I'll definitely accept it because I don't want her to be another point ahead.
Whatever.
All right, fine.
All right, so
Those were solid.
Cumberbatch for the win.
Those are solid.
Thank you.
all right,
back
so
hardball
Steve and I decided to switch film history and second base for $1 based on some of the Comic-Con stuff that we did. So, little second base.
Can't
Yeah,
wait.
I can't wait.
All right.
This is a little segment we like to call How to Get to Second Base for $1. Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I decided for second base that I was going to keep the thing that I've been doing in film history and do another top list.
Oh, no.
So
How many this time, Jeff?
in
Here we
lieu-
go.
You
in
can only
lieu-
get to second base so many times.
Apparently not.
excuse me, in lieu of the Comic-Con and trying to keep that theme going, I did the best Comic-Con worthy date movies.
I like
okay.
that.
All right.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, and in honor of second base, I've decided to do how many times people have reached second base in the entire length of the Major League Baseball. So I have 3,421. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Oh my God! I was about to leave the building.
No,
It's amazing.
Yeah, so plenty of time for Carly and Steve to take their selfies. Okay, so no, I did a top 10 list of nerd-worthy romantic comedies, plus 3 honorable mentions.
Okay.
And since I didn't really focus on the dollar part of this, I have included how much you have to pay and where you need to get it from. So the 3 honorable mentions, 2 of them I only put in there because I think they deserve it to be in there, but I've never seen them. So I just put them in this category, and that's Upside Down, which Steve talked about last week.
That would get me to second base, yeah.
Yeah, which sounds really good.
It
and
just sounds weird.
Yeah. And I'm excited to see it, especially since Comic-Con, and you can see that for free on Netflix.
What? I didn't know that.
Is that
Yes.
second base with?
Yes.
Is that second base with Jeff you're talking about, or your wife?
Yeah, it'd get me with Jeff.
That's what I
Okay.
should have done. I should have done movies that Steve can get to second base.
Hey,
with
that's
Jeff.
another. That's another one.
That's great.
Yeah.
Future. second base.
Putting anything Buster Keaton or Muppets
There you go.
would pretty much get me to.
That's right.
Jeff's easy.
Yeah, Jeff's easy. The other one is Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Which have any of you guys seen that?
No.
Totally fun.
Yeah.
Totally fun. The arcade stylization in that, the fight scenes, really fun movie.
Yeah, it's one of those movies that's like, I want to see it, but I just never got around to. And then the last one in the honorable mention category, I am not excited about this movie, but it fits the theme, and Steve would have voted for it and put it in his top 5, so I put it in there just for Steve in honor of him in second base.
Jeff's trying to
And
get to second base with
I
me.
think so.
That
I think
is
so.
Looper.
Oh,
It's such a great movie.
love that
Such
movie.
a great movie.
I love that movie. Jeff does not. Jeff
Yeah.
doesn't. He doesn't. Oh,
Yeah.
such a good movie.
So anyways, there you go.
He hates the ending. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
So at least put it in the honorable mention category for
right.
that. Okay, so here we go. So my top 10. Number 10, Safety Not Guaranteed, which you can see for free on Netflix. Have any of you guys seen that?
No,
No.
the premise, but
It's
yeah,
with a bunch of TV actors from TV shows that you guys love. And it's basically about this group of reporters who follow up on this article that this guy says, your safety is not guaranteed. I'm looking for a volunteer to time travel with me.
Cool.
And so they're following this guy, and he believes he's completely legit. He's this really kind of nerdy guy, completely into what he's doing, completely believes in what he's doing, but they're finding out all the stuff about his past that makes him be like, oh, okay, so he's got some issues, but she's falling in love with him as they're going on. So it's a good kind
That's
of
interesting.
coming of age movie, kind of a nerdy romantic movie. So you can see it for free on Netflix. I recommend it. I really enjoyed it.
Okay.
Safety Not Guaranteed. Number 9, Groundhog's Day. With Bill Murray, got to put that in
a
there,
good comedy
and that
one, yeah.
you can stream that for $2.99 pretty much anywhere, like YouTube, Google, all that. Number 8, kind of a unique one, Starman, an old Jeff Bridges movies from the 80s. You know this, Sam?
I don't know that. No.
Yes, I vaguely remember it.
Yeah, it's great. When I was in acting, I did some studies on Jeff Bridges and watched this movie. It was really good. It's one of the few movies he was nominated for an Academy Award for.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He's an
Okay.
amazing actor.
Yeah, he is.
He plays too many like down to earth guys. Like he
Right.
didn't play enough like drug addicts and all that. And so, anyways, he plays this guy who comes to Earth. He's an alien, and he comes to
Right.
Earth, and he appears to this woman. And the way that he appears to her is he wanted a form that she would recognize. So he takes the form of her dead husband.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he comes to her as her dead husband, and she's obviously really freaked out
freaking out.
by seeing this. And he just needs her to take him back to the site so he can return home.
Oh.
But she doesn't, she's not going willingly. So he actually has to kidnap her.
Oh, Lord.
So she's kidnapped by this guy who looks like her ex-husband. So she sort of falls for this guy eventually as, she realizes he's not trying to hurt her. He just needs to get, her. So it's a really good story. It's got that unique dynamic. It's got the cool sci-fi thing to it. So, and you can see that for free on Netflix. Starman, Jeff Bridges.
Okay.
Good movie.
I like Jeff Bridges.
Number 7, Terminator. right?
Well, I guess if we're going to go with sci-fi Comic-Con type people, that'll get you to second base with somebody.
I never saw Terminator.
Terminator. Yeah,
No,
there's a great romantic element
Comic-Con.
between the two leads, and you wouldn't be able to save the Earth without the romance in the story, right?
That's true. In the first one,
Yeah, so you can see that Netflix, Hulu, Redbox streaming, any of that. Number 6, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Funny, classic zombie, British.
Yep.
He's got all the great stuff
If
in
you're
it.
into zombies, somebody here is not a zombie person.
I'm not into zombies.
You know what? Shireen's not into zombies either. But the two things I got her into was...
Let me guess. Walking Dead.
Walking Dead, right.
And maybe that Will Smith movie with him.
Yes, she did enjoy that.
Yeah, that's usually
I
what
Am
people
Legend.
say. Yep.
The other one was World War Z.
Oh, I saw World War Z, and I saw the one we just said.
I Am Legend.
Right. Yeah.
And did you like those movies?
Meh.
Yeah, all right.
I just don't like zombies. I'm not into it. I don't get the whole craze.
Yeah. Well, she's not into either, but she liked those movies. So, anyways, good luck with that one. You can't stream it anywhere, but I don't know. You have to
Wow, thanks, Jeff.
buy it at Best Buy or something. I don't know. Here, or download it on Amazon.
For $29.99.
Yeah, for $29.99. Number 5, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
That almost made my list for my thing.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. Okay.
Which it's one of those love it or hate it movies.
I love that movie.
What I loved about that movie is it's all over the map, but I followed it, and I'm pretty stupid when it comes to.
You did not just say that.
As much as I love movies,
and I'm pretty stupid. So.
As much as I love movies, when Sixth Sense came out, Steve took a bunch of us to see Sixth Sense, and he made us sit boy, girl, because it was a scary movie.
Yeah, I was trying to hook up everybody. I was really good at doing
Yeah,
that.
That's cute.
I didn't get any action that night. Big surprise.
Surprise.
Yeah. But I remember, like, when there's the big reveal at the end, right? Everyone in the movie was like, and I was like, oh, shit, I don't know what's going on.
Oh, my God, Jeff!
I finally figured it out before, like, the credits rolled, but probably pretty close to the credits is when I figured it out. And then when I go back and watch the movie now, I'm like, oh, my gosh, Jeff, you're such an idiot.
Where was your mind, man?
And then,
he was thinking about the girl next to him.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
My mistake.
Where was your
might
mind?
have been. Yeah.
Wait. So the Sixth Sense is on your list?
Yeah. No, it's not. I was just using that as an analogy to show, because I was so proud of myself for following Eternal Sunshine.
Eternal Sunshine with a Spotless
When you couldn't follow Sixth Sense.
When I couldn't follow Sixth Sense, yeah. So obviously,
noted.
It's pretty good. So.
That is hilarious.
Anyways, you can stream that on Xfinity if you have that. Number 4, classic one from the earlier, The Abyss. Sam, I thought you'd like that. Have you guys seen The Abyss?
Yes,
right.
it's
So it's
good.
got the
That's a classic,
divorced couple, which I really like.
Yeah.
I think there's so many movies about the young couple that falls in love for the first time, but this is about the little bit older couple that was married and divorced and sort of refinding that love.
It's a Twister.
Right? Yeah, Twister.
That scene where she dies
Yeah,
and he has to revive her
yeah.
is like so powerful.
Emotional.
Even though they're divorced, it's like he really cares about her,
Oh,
kind
sure.
of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
So it's I could see that.
That's love.
That's love, baby.
Right. Would you wonder if that's really James Cameron and who's his ex-wife who beat him in the
Interesting.
Oscars?
Yeah.
Maybe that's going to be them.
When
at
you
some
said
point.
beat him, I'm like, whoa. She beat him?
You know what I mean.
One.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
won.
So number 4, The
I know, I'm
Abyss,
sweaty,
and you can stream that on Amazon for $4.99. It's also on Xfinity if you have that. Number 3, I'm sure everyone here will like The Fifth Element, which is on Netflix.
Hey, actually, I streamed that this last 2 weeks.
Really? Oh, yeah.
The whole thing, start to finish, I completely forgot about that.
Did you get to second base?
Huh?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, for sure. Totally.
Perfect.
Yeah. Sorry about that. I totally forgot. It was one of those TV ones again, flipping channels.
Yeah, and it's on Netflix. You can stream it for free. Which, by the way, Comic-Con saw a couple of perfect beans.
There
A
was
couple
a perfect
not
bean.
so perfect beans.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good way of saying
Number 2, and we can talk a lot about this at Comic-Con, was A Princess Bride.
Yep.
$2.99 on
Great
Amazon,
one.
also on Xfinity.
it. Don't forget to buy his book.
Yeah, Carrie Elwes, who was selling his book.
It's been pre-ordered on Amazon.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I did.
Yeah, did you really?
Yes, I did. Yep.
We'll have to borrow it from you.
Which that was great. Carrie Elwes at Comic-Con was really great. And number 1, and again, just
is The Elephant Man. Just
no.
kidding. Just throw something
That's what
crazy.
gets Carly to second base.
Oh, jeez,
Wow.
It's
no. No.
Dumbo, maybe?
Carly's into deformed human beings,
Yes.
which makes you concerned about Carl.
I was just being funny.
Which makes
Yeah.
me wonder if he's had surgery before I met him.
Yes, indeed.
I think if she drinks some wine, Elephant Man.
Hey, you guys.
Perfect.
All right, what's your number one,
Yeah,
Jeff?
sorry.
What gets you to second base?
Number one, and I allowed Steve to inspire me to put this at number one.
Whoa.
Ooh, what does that mean?
Is About Time.
Oh! Isn't it so marvelous?
Yes, $1.50 at Redbox.
I didn't even have to say it.
I have to say that one made my list that I have. That isn't
I
it
get
great?
myself to second base. With that
Oh my gosh! My goodness.
That's a little too
You
much.
go in a
of
closet,
Yes.
you close your eyes, and
I just start touching myself.
Oh, my goodness. That's the reason for me not to watch it ever.
and you go back in
great.
time.
I haven't seen it, and I probably won't
Oh,
now
such a good
because
movie.
you just said that.
And you go
Well,
back.
Jeff, you got me to second base at least 4-5 times with that list, so good job.
This is not sounding so great anymore.
Yeah, apparently it doesn't take too much for you to get yourself to second base.
No, it
Yeah,
doesn't.
he's a cheap date.
I'm a cheap
Gee.
date. I am really easy.
That's a good list, though, Jeff.
Hey, all right, so there's
Nice.
there's
That's a good list.
there's
Cool.
second
All
base
right.
for
Cool.
Awesome job, dude. Awesome
Yeah,
job.
excellent. We got
Now,
some.
I am excited. Carly, you have some sort of top 10 list.
I do, but mine are not in order. Like you know, from 10 to 1. Like
All
I didn't do that shit.
Well,
All
there's
I
still
did-
10 of them, right?
There's still 10.
All right, let's hear it.
Matters.
In no order.
Oh,
These are my top 10. What?
Yes.
What?
No, what kind of?
Yeah, these are my Carly's top 10.
Carly's.
I'm calling them love movies. I wanted to say romance, but I like the word love better because it can mean a lot of different things. Why do you have that plug? You have your like nose plugged like I farted or something.
I know because I just had a really deep burp and I was trying not
Didn't
to
wanna-
breathe the
right,
beer
okay.
all over everybody in the room.
Okay, because
So I
I'm
was doing
like,
it down
wow,
my
do I
shirt.
stink? I don't get it.
And,
Hey, top 10. Carly's top 10 love movies. Atonement made it.
Oh, okay. Keira
Have you
Knightley.
seen? Yeah, have you seen that? Any of you?
No.
Anyway, it's good, and I recommend you watch it. Okay, Brokeback Mountain, one of my favorites. The Best Man Holiday. Now I have something to say about this.
Okay.
And it's gonna sound very racist.
yes. All right, go you.
But-
I'm listening.
So Carl and I, my husband and I, have something in common which we're not ashamed of, but it sounds horrible when we say it. But
delicious.
It's so weird, okay? But like when Carl and I started dating, we both kind of secretly had this like love affair for, we call them black movies. And they're movies with like all black cast because don't laugh. We totally relate to we just get it. It's like us, which doesn't make
Right.
sense because we're not African American. But whatever. So it's a black movie. A black movie made my list, is what I say. Okay. And you know what? I am of race, so I feel like I can say it. Okay, so The Best Man Holiday. I'm sure
Best
none of you
Man
saw
Holiday.
it, but it's good.
Right.
I'm gonna get you, sucker. Is that on there?
No!
Because that's a great movie. By the way.
Is it?
Oh, it's awesome.
I've never heard of it.
What?
No.
I'm
I
gonna
bet
get
you Carl
sucker.
has.
What gets Sammy to
The
second
weigh-ins.
base?
Yeah, now we know. I'm
The
gonna
weigh-ins.
get
No, you
sucker.
mentioned.
Yeah. Is Shaft on this list?
Oh my lord!
All right.
I
Okay,
like,
Carly,
sorry.
continue on.
What are you talking about?
I like that theme song. About Time, made it.
Oh, good. All right, made the
That's
list.
on all of us. We all go in the closet with that
Eh,
movie.
we do. No, we
I do
totally
not.
do.
I have
oh,
not
hey,
seen
get
it.
it?
Yep, I get it.
Get it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Not going to.
Clueless.
Okay.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
It's
Okay, all
adorable.
right.
Come on, it's
good.
my generation. 10 Things I Hate About You.
Oh, that was really good. I love Heath Ledger.
Love Actually.
Oh, good.
Delicious.
Yes.
Every holiday season.
My whole before sunset, after sunrise,
sunset.
before
Yeah,
midnight, like
yeah.
that whole thing. It's totally probably close to my number one if I had to.
Mm-hmm.
Pride and Prejudice. Any rendition.
Oh, any
I
of
mean,
them.
the story in general.
Even like
Just-
the mini series that's like 20 hours long.
I have that one
Okay.
with Colin Firth,
Right.
and it's
right.
my favorite.
And do you have to watch the whole 9 hours to get to second base? Because that's a big investment.
Wow, that's
Kind
a lot
of.
investment. That'd
Right.
be a
Better be
good
worth it.
second
kind of, but
And
it
if
is
it's-
very worth it.
and if it's from a guy's perspective, if I have to sit through 9 hours or a 2-hour movie, I'm going to put in the 2-hour movie.
Unless it's
Obviously.
9 hours nonstop of second base.
Okay, all right.
This is getting out of
All right.
hand.
This is
No, if you get to second base and you're stuck at second base for 9 hours,
no.
I don't think I'm gonna.
Yeah,
Unless you're really enjoying it.
Right.
Maybe a few more things being pitched out there. But
Right.
yeah, unless you're enjoying it. Anyways,
If you're really into
let's
Okay.
continue.
that. All right.
on.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'm on my last one. I just said Pride and
Pride and
Prejudice, right?
Prejudice.
So
Yes.
the Twilight series.
Okay. Any one of them.
Well, anyone but my favorite is the very first one.
Okay.
So those are my top 10 love movies.
Awesome.
Your
All right.
favorite love movie is the one with no sex in it. Okay.
there's some sex in,
what are you talking about?
The Twilight.
No.
No, you said that's your favorite of the series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. They're just making out.
Right.
But I was like, there is sex implied in Before Sunset, if you remember.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, for reals. In the park.
Which they talk about in the
Paris.
second one.
Yes, they do. Exactly, they do. And they kind of argue about it. It's
Yes.
totally adorable. I love
Yes.
it. Have you seen them, Steve? Because
Nope.
that's one thing you and I can relate on. We have that, you and
Yeah,
I.
no, I need to see him.
You
I
would
can
like
lend
it,
them
but
to you.
again,
Oh, wait, do you not have a DVD player?
No, I do. I just don't like getting off my couch to put a DVD.
Yeah,
on the
he would rather
DVD
rent
player.
it so he didn't have to
I
get
would
up.
pay the
Here's
$2.99
what I'll
on Google
do.
Play.
You won't have to pay anything. I will come to your house, press eject,
Whoa, wait.
Insert.
insert the
Time out here.
disc.
Can you say this slower, please?
Yeah.
Stop it. And I will press play and walk away and come back and switch the movies for you.
Okay.
also, Steve, you can stream it for $2.99 on Amazon, Apple
won't
Probably
TV,
more likely.
Google
I will.
Play,
I totally,
YouTube.
No, this all started
Do
because...
it for me, especially if I die between now and the next podcast. You're going to regret it.
Okay. Yeah. Jeez. Pressure now.
Yeah.
I did this because I can't remember what movie it was. I owned the DVD for it, but it
Yeah.
was just easier just to hit
Yeah.
buy for $1.99.
Oh my God, you
on
ass.
my phone.
Yeah, no,
I did.
I let him borrow a DVD.
Oh, that's what it was.
I had we
what
were
it
talking
was,
about
yeah.
Bogart movies,
Yeah.
so I let him borrow the Maltese Falcon,
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
and he
my
took it
God.
home. And instead of putting it in his DVD player, he
Oh
paid
my
like
God.
$4 to
I-
stream it on
Yeah,
Amazon.
it was
or whatever.
$2.99. It was Google
$2.99,
Play,
yeah.
and I just
Steve.
streamed it on my tablet instead of getting up to get it off. I could see it on the kitchen counter.
Steve!
I knew where it was. It
Yeah.
wasn't like I lost it.
We gave him crap for
Yeah, we did.
episodes.
That was.
Yeah.
I just that's and so.
If they could see my face right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
So
a
anyways,
look of surprise
that's,
and horror.
That's part
and
of our text message
No,
that went
keep
on
it
that
going,
I gotta
Carly.
share with everybody. All right. Well,
Yeah.
while
Like,
the
so-
pictures are being taken, I have a top 10 list,
Ooh,
and I think Jeff does too.
okay.
My top 10 list is top 10 things at Comic-Con.
Okay.
Not necessarily in specific order like yours, but close to it. So top 10 things or people I saw or whatever. Number 1, Richard Dean Anderson
Oh, yeah.
was awesome, very entertaining,
Right.
and
This is
very
in no
funny.
particular order.
No particular order.
Okay.
Number 2, Carrie Elwes, Princess Bride.
I have to agree with you on
Michael Turchick, who I'm going to talk about during film
that.
history.
Okay.
The Mos Eisley Cantina, specifically Jeff and Steve's shooting picture with Greedo.
Oh,
I
yeah.
still love that picture.
Oh, me too.
The Chun-Li cosplay. Closing down Comic-Con Friday night with the guys from the Socially Awkward
Cool.
Studios.
Oh, yeah. That was great.
The addition this year of food trucks. It made it much better food choices for lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meeting Dean Lorry, who did a writing on Arrested Development. His
Yeah.
panel was really awesome, and
Yeah.
Jeff and I got a picture with him.
Awesome.
And then I loved all the addition of the film challenges and the showings and stuff like that. I sat in on a couple of those, even though the award ceremonies were lacking.
Yeah, which I will say they had a much better local presence this year in terms of the
Definitely.
films that were screened, which I really, really liked.
Yeah, for sure. And even there's a lot of people in the artist alley that had local like web series and stuff like that too.
yeah.
That was really cool. And then number 10, and maybe on the top, spending the entire day Sunday with my podcast hosts. That was
I thought for sure me trying to hold that teenager's hand was going to make that
Oh,
list.
dude! Next year we are totally going up and down the
That's what we're
escalators,
doing.
just holding random
No,
people's hands.
I'm going to try to hold people's hands and see how they react.
There's a few of these pictures in our photo album, and I know Carly shared them and tagged us in them, but it's hilarious. The two of them are coming up the escalator, and she's trying to hold the hands of this geeky kid in front of her.
He was all
like
by
curly,
himself.
like black hair, whatever, all by himself.
He was so
And
embarrassed.
he's trying, and he is so embarrassed. She's trying, and then she starts busting up, and then this look just got. And I don't know why he's got that look on his face behind her. Oh my god, it was hilarious. And we thought, you know what? We could spend like an hour just
We
filming
could.
it next year, going up and down those
It
escalators.
doesn't even have to be on the escalator because, like, when we were walking
anywhere
out
walking,
to go
yeah.
to Hard Rock, I was like, "There's like 7 opportunities for me to hold random people, strangers, and see how
I
they
saw
react."
I saw a guy walking up with as a He-Man, and I thought I could run across the street and go and just like jump up and hug him like I'm the biggest fan ever, and just see how he reacts. You know?
Yes, exactly.
And ask him, are
He
you the
would-
real He-Man?
Yeah.
He would punch you in the face.
Exactly. He would do what he's
Whip out his
supposed to do.
sword and yeah,
He-Man.
big broadsword.
I still think it's better to not hug. I think it's better to holding hand is like a different kind of
It's
personal.
a very intimate thing,
It
yeah,
is,
especially if
it
you get
is.
yourself into have
Oh my
interlocking
god!
fingers.
The way you
holding
just
hands.
did that would be so disturbing if someone
If you
like
just-
interlocked fingers
and just
with me
slowly
slowly.
and interlocked fingers. Oh my god!
Which was my question is, what if it goes too well?
I know. So that's a good point. So here's what I say.
Then all of a
If it
sudden I'm on a
goes-
date and I'm buying her dinner.
You guys just walk away. If it goes too well, there's two things. Like, if I give you the eyes, it means go away. If I give you these eyes, it means help me now.
I was
Right.
thinking if
It means serenity now.
If they continue on with the hand holding, then that's when I just try and lean in for a kiss and see how far they're going to take it.
Yeah, just keep going.
Just keep going.
This could be
Come on,
epic.
if you're gonna, this is going to be an epic video
Yes,
right here.
yes.
If you're
In
not
fact,
gonna
we need
stop
to
me,
hire Justin just for this.
Yes.
Just for
alone,
this
we just need to
session.
be filmed the entire time.
That's one of our goals next
So,
year.
Steve, what would you do if you were, 19 and you're riding up an escalator and a random girl just holds your hand?
I would. I have the guts to. I would look at her. And then I would keep holding the hand because it would be a battle of will at
Who's
that
gonna
point.
give up?
Who's going to give up?
First, yes.
You know, and then honestly, once you got to the top, we would
Laugh
let
it
go and
out.
walk on, and nothing would happen. But I would think, I had a moment with that girl
Yeah,
because
see?
I'm that self-confident and that much of an ego.
But see, that's what you
that-
want. That's your goal. Is you
Yeah.
want there to be even if it's a funny moment,
Even
even if
it's a
it's
funny moment.
you just want a moment with a human being. And the people, like Sam was saying earlier, the people there are just so friendly and awesome. Or was that Sam?
Yeah, well, we all kind of agreed
Yeah,
on
but I
it.
thought it was
So-
Sam
so-
initially
so,
said
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like, to me, it sounds like that might go well.
Right.
Maybe too
Yeah,
well.
it might go too well, which would be
Yes.
fun. Yeah,
So, Sam, if you were 19 and you were
Yes.
riding up an escalator and some attractive girl just grabbed your hand, what would you do?
I'd probably hold it
Yeah?
and laugh.
Laugh?
Yeah, giggle.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know
could see-
about giggling.
Yeah, you would. Admit it.
I would probably laugh.
Yeah, I like how you try to be.
Because
a man
I would
there,
look
but-
around to see if there was like a hidden camera
Yeah.
somewhere, like I'm being
Yeah.
punked or something like that. That's what I would do.
That's
Right.
cute.
I would think there would be something up.
Of course, yeah. What about you, Jeff? What would you do?
Yeah, well, you guys know how insecure I am, and I was even more insecure at 19. You knew me at 19.
I
You
do.
both, you all knew me at 19. Yeah, so I probably just would have frozen stiff, and gotten really heart pumping, and then she'd walk away, and then I'd go home and cry and write about it in my diary.
This is horrible, Jeff.
Oh.
Okay,
So
what do
that's
you?
what you might do to some poor guy.
I know
don't
what
want
Carly
that.
would do.
I was going to ask, what do you think I would do if they were attractive or if they weren't attractive? Because those are very important questions.
Yeah.
Carly has got no problem with it. If this person's remotely attractive, Carly's the one that's going to go try kissing too. Like I told, Carly would push it further. She would
would.
like it would go
Right.
from a handhold to her arm is around him or something
Right.
around his waist. You know,
And-
like she would push it a little bit further. She's
Yeah.
like, I'll play your
Let's
game.
see where we
Yeah.
can go with this.
And Steve, we just have to commit as her friend that if he's dressed up like Sherlock,
We're out.
it's over.
We're out. The footage gets deleted. Nobody says anything. It's Vegas.
Poor
It's like
Carl.
Las Vegas.
Hashtag poor Carl.
Yeah.
I'll take an oath of silence.
If they're not attractive, I would still.
You would still play along.
I would still play along.
You wouldn't push him, but you'd still play along.
I would probably giggle, but I would
Right.
play along.
because you would think it was cute, but then you would play along because you know that you're making that guy's day.
Absolutely, or just making
know?
them happy, just
Yeah.
like doing something funny.
Yeah, because the whole reason you're doing this isn't to get inside some guy's hotel room. It's just
no.
to,
No,
have some fun with some people.
Although there are plenty of hotels down there.
there are, in fact.
Quite a few.
Thanks for that reminder.
Yes. Our bacon realtor just sent me a message saying, "Hey, thanks by the way for all the Phoenix Comicon updates." So I had to throw his name out there.
A
again.
big
big
him
thank you to him
for
I'm
the
drinking
beer
and
tonight.
the bacon jerky.
I didn't know there was baking jerky. Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Didn't we have an entire conversation when I first walked into this
Yeah, we
building?
gave some to Chuck.
No, you guys. I meant that until tonight. I didn't know they sold bacon jerky.
Oh!
Okay, I'm
Yeah.
with you now.
Yeah.
Remember,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
dealing with a bunch of men.
I
over
remember
here.
now.
Okay.
Little
No,
bit
I'm
slow.
just saying I didn't know that existed.
No, I
Steve,
don't.
grab her hand and see what happens.
And it was delicious.
Steve won't want to know.
Yeah, I don't know. All
Steve's
right.
married, remember?
Top 10 list.
Oh, wait, I am too.
Jeff.
Uh,
Top 10 list, Jeff. And
Sorry,
then
Steve and
gotta
I
get
are
into
having
film
moments.
history. We're getting on to an hour. I gotta
Oh,
get into
crap,
film
go.
history.
We're
And
past
Sammy,
the hour.
We are. We're too
Sammy
late.
keeps giving me the stink eye because I'm talking too loudly into the mic or something.
No,
Maybe
I'm
it's my
not.
heavy breathing.
Okay, for realsies.
Tim,
You
top
go.
10. What's your list? Hit me.
Top 10 what?
Didn't you have a top 10 list of some
He
sort?
already gave
You
it.
I already gave it, yeah.
We all gave it?
Film history is next.
Okay.
You
Film
ready?
history, sorry.
All right, there we go.
It's time for This Week in Film History.
And this is Steve taking over for Jeff. We're going to see if we can make this one quick since we're at the end of our time. Michael Turchik, who had a panel on Thursday evening, which myself...
Are you drunk?
Wow, what's going on over there?
myself, my brother Sam, and then Eric Dewey from the Socially Awkward podcast sat in on. He is the key sculptor for the T-Rex for Jurassic Park.
So
and
awesome.
So he had a whole panel on the creation of that character. I want to first read off, though, just to give you guys his resume. His very first movie that he ever did any special effects for, and this is all sculpting stuff, was in 1985, Day of the Dead. And then 1986, Act of Vengeance, the other big one. Evil Dead 2, though, in 1987 he did it. Then he went on to Creepshow 2, The Hidden, Alienation, The Naked Gun, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Leviathan, Foods of the Gods, Tales from the Crypt on HBO, Glory, A Gnome Named Norm, which I think that was when he came to Arizona for one of the first times.
Oh, yeah, he did say that, yeah.
Yeah, and so that's when he actually fell in love with Arizona. Child's Play 2, Terminator 2 Judgment Day, which he called it the donut face, but when the Terminator has the shot through the eye, and it blows out. And that was the first time he got the cover on a special effects magazine, and that was the first time, and that was one of his proudest moments.
Yeah.
But he called that the donut face, and so that was him that did that. Batman Returns in 1992.
Cool.
Which he sculpted and made every single one of those penguins. And he said it was a ridiculous feat. And his comment was, we had to do that because they wouldn't let us strap dynamite to real penguins. That's what he
my
said.
God, horrible.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then after that, Jurassic Park. So the way this came about was the studio he was working with back then heard that there was this big new movie that's coming out that was on dinosaurs. And everything back then was clay, it was, animatronics, all that stuff, puppetry. And so his boss, who forgive me, I don't remember his name, said, okay, we got to make a dinosaur. And Michael was a big dinophile. He was so into it. So he did concept art with some other guys for this dinosaur, and he wanted to make it as scientific as possible. Well, scientific, he said, doesn't translate well to big screen. And so it was a constant battle, he said, at first, because they wanted to make the face meaner. They wanted to add, eyebrows to this dinosaur so they could make him scowl more, and all this other stuff. It was so crazy. And he said at one point, the dinosaur's face was the way the eyes were, and the mouth was so wide that if the dinosaur was looking right at you, his eye vision wouldn't see what was right in front of him. It was so ridiculous. He had so many little funny stories about it. And so finally they came up with what we know as the T-Rex from Jurassic Park today. So what they had to do for it, their first one, was a 1/5 scale, which the 1/5 scale was 7 feet long. So they made the scale. This is what they proposed it with. They got the job for it. So then they had to do a 1/16 scale for longer shots, and then the full-size scale, which the full-size one was 35 feet long, 18 feet tall. That was a full-size scale replica. Then they were asked to send the 1/5 scale to ILM. They didn't know why at that point or anything. So then they continue on with the building of this. The full-scale one had 3 tons of clay on this thing. He said they had to raise the ceiling 10 feet high to be able to get the scaffolding up in their warehouse to be working on top of this. When they had everything on cranes and were doing the animatronics of the legs, he said there were times, because the legs were designed to where they could be rolled away so they could work on the detail and roll it back, so they get the 360 detail of the legs. Right. He said there'd be times where those legs would wobble some and everybody would clear because those legs were half a ton and so heavy. And he'd say sometimes clumps of clay would fall, and it would be a 50-pound thing of clay falling 10 feet.
Oh my gosh!
So it just was a crazy feat. Well, then a few months later, they get this footage from ILM, and it's the very first. And he showed it. He had a copy of it. I couldn't find it anywhere on YouTube. It was from 1992, and it was this T-Rex replica they had made, had been scanned in and computer generated walking. And it only walked 5 steps, and then it restarted, and it walked 5 steps again. But it was so smooth and so amazing. And this was, at this point, now it's 20-something years old. And he said at that point, a buddy of his next to him said, well, I'm out of a job. And he said, I didn't realize it at that point, but I now know that I was standing there when the future of movies was going to change forever, for better or for worse, type of thing. So they went on. They still, a lot of animatronics still in it. They still did sculpt and everything. His main thing was the face of the dinosaur. He did all that. My one cool story I'm going to share from when they actually did the filming was when he was running the animatronics for the life-size version of the T-Rex. And this is a scene where the Jeep has the two kids in it. The T-Rex's face is coming down and breathing next to it, next to the glass. He said the director kept asking for it to be closer and closer. So, when you move like a little joystick thing just a little bit, you got to judge for how much the jerk it is. He said, so during one take, I moved a little bit closer. He said it was so close, and this thing is so heavy, it hit the Jeep, popped it up on two wheels, and threw both the kids into the side. Oh, shit. And these were the real kids, not the stunt
this is not
kids.
Good, yeah.
And he said, I've never seen so many people freak out.
I bet.
And just like, even myself, just craziness. And then everything just stopped, cut, people running in to make sure everybody's okay. And everybody was fine, but he said that was probably one of the scariest moments of everything that I do.
Yeah, absolutely. They're kiddos, know.
Did he say if they used the take?
He did not say if they used the take. Okay. No, he did not, unfortunately. So
yeah, maybe he can't either.
Yeah, he was a really cool guy. Carly and I went and talked to him.
Yeah, I enjoyed talking to him because I was an art major at ASU, and one of my main things that are my media is ceramics. So I got to talk to him about what kind of clay and how much it weighed, and because back then things were quite different than they are now, but still also the same. So it was really neat talking to him about that. And Steve and I were introduced to DinoCon, which apparently
in Arizona it's the second year
so
they have a DinoCon.
We're gonna go. We're gonna go.
And yeah, I think it's just a one-day event from what I looked up, but he's going to totally be talking about this again. He said, "No, I'm going to be doing a panel on that," and he's got the Mesa, the Natural Museum here in Mesa. The dinosaur in front there is one that he sculpted and did, and he and his wife. So after he was in Arizona, that one movie. He and his wife moved to Sedona, and that's where they live. And he has a sculpting place in Tlaquepaque up there. And his current thing, he says, my two loves are cowboys and dinosaurs. They're two very different things.
Yeah, he's in a good place.
And he sculpts them. And right now his current thing is
his shop is in Tlaquepaque, or he lives, because does he live right near there?
He lives right near there.
Oh,
in Sedona.
awesome.
His shop's in Tlaquepaque. He said that you can usually catch me there between Wednesdays and Saturdays if you stop in.
That is awesome to know.
He was a really, really neat, just great guy. Yeah, he and Carly were talking about stuff beyond my head when it came to sand and oil, clay, and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
I could totally talk to that guy for hours. I know I could if we had the time.
Yeah, and I remember you guys talking about him because I went. It was almost like I was with my parents,
posters.
And you guys were like, "All right, son." Because I wanted free posters, so you're like,
that was so
right,
true.
Son.
No, it was the way Steve did it. He's like, Jeff, it was business. Here I am behind Steve, just following him wherever he goes. And then Jeff's behind me, like our son. And then Steve's like, there it is, go, get your stuff. And then I'm like, okay, I'll just keep following Steve. And then Jeff's rummaging through movie posters. And then Steve's just guiding us along. I agree with you. I felt like I was married to Steve and you were our son. And it was like, get your shit. We got to get going. We're on a schedule.
I love to study maps, and I knew the layout of the whole place. So when Jeff said he wanted to go to the movie posters, I knew how to get there in the quickest way, and so we went there. And then Carly and I were just standing off next to where they had the big Balrog from Lord of the Rings, and we're just kind of standing there, and then turned around, and then we were just like, he's taking a long time looking at all these movie posters. So we just started walking down, and then that's when we ran into Michael, and I didn't realize he had a little booth right there. So,
and what's funny for me is I finally came back, and you guys were having an adult conversation about clays and crap, and then how much did it weigh and all that stuff I didn't know anything about. And I stood there for 5 minutes, and I was like, I'm bored. So I went back to see if they had put out any new posters since I was gone. Yeah, I was
we go?
I'm going to go play with the kids for a little bit more. And then I finally came back, and they were wrapping it up. So I was like, all right.
Mom, let's go.
Looks like Mom and Dad are done talking. It was just like when you're a kid and you're in church and church gets out and Mom and Dad are talking to people and they're like 5 minutes. You're like, Mom, you guys aren't going to be that fight. Not true. You're going to sit there and talk for I'm going to go play with my friends and come back.
Right. Yeah. So there you go. That is my film history, Jurassic Park.
I like it.
Yeah, that was good. That was very worth.
Very good.
Very worth a while.
All right. Awesome.
Good podcast, guys.
Whew. Congratulations, everybody. Let's get some rest this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't.
Yeah, we got something going on.
We have stuff going on. Jeff, did I lose you?
What did we? Oh, yeah, we have our table read this
Yeah, we
morning.
have a table
that's
read
great,
for Camp Kill No More.
Yes,
So.
which we'll have to talk about as soon as.
So we'll be talking about that on the next podcast. But in the meantime, check it out on YouTube or 12A Productions and watch our film short called Camp Kill No More.
Yes.
So it's a pretty rare title. I'm sure you can just Google it and it'll come right up. So
Yeah. So
but
I'm
we
excited
have a table
for that.
read for that Saturday. So that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I am going to try and get as much sleep as possible.
Yeah.
Catch
Good luck.
up.
Yeah. Good luck. Yeah. So is that it? Are we
That's
all
it.
done?
We're done.
That's it.
Finis.
Our
Sayonara.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and we'll catch you on the other side. Thank you very much. Comic-Con.
The 12A podcast is produced by 12A Productions and distributed by the 4-Eyed Radio Network. To learn more about the podcast or to see what other projects the 12A team is working on, check out 12aproductions.com.
I wonder if anybody is going to miss the fact we didn't do Speed Round.
I know.
Yeah. If you realized and you listened this late in the podcast, send us a private message. Maybe I'll send you a gift if you missed Speed Round.
This has been another proud production of the 4-Eyed Radio Network. You want to see more shows, go check out www.4eyedradio.com, you winker.